Right now, The Legend of Khiimori is only in early access, but the developers already revealed a roadmap showing everything they plan to add. New features, new systems, and even completely new mechanics that aren't in the game yet. So the big question is, how much content is actually coming to the game? Today we're gonna take a look at the official development roadmap for The Legend of Khiimori, break down the most interesting things on it, and talk about what it could mean for the future of the game. Because if even half of these features make it to the final version, this game could really become something special. So let's take a look at the roadmap. First, if you don't know what the game Legend of Khiimori is about, it's basically an open-world courier adventure set in 13th century Mongolia. You travel across the landscape on horseback, delivering messages and goods while managing things like stamina, weather, and survival. The focus of the game is really about the journey itself, riding long distances, taking care of your horse, planning your routes, and dealing with whatever happens along the way. Now, according to the roadmap, the developers want to expand that core idea a lot. One of the biggest things on the roadmap is expanding the world and activities you can do while traveling. That could mean more locations to discover, more places to stop along the road, and more reasons to explore instead of just riding from point A to B. Another important part of the roadmap is improving the gameplay system. That includes things like better mechanics, polishing existing features, and adding more depth to the way the game works. For example, things like how you manage your horse, how deliveries work, and how you interact with the world could all become more detailed over time. There are also plans for new content, which include new missions, new items, and new gameplay. Features that make the experience feel more alive. This is really important for a game like this, because the world itself is a big part of the experience. The more things there are to discover, the more interesting the journey becomes. Another big focus on the roadmap is overall improvement and polish. Since the game is still in development, the developers will likely spend a lot of time fixing bugs, improving performance, and adjusting system based on player feedback. This is usually one of the biggest advantages of early access games. Players get to see the game grow and change over time. So looking at the roadmap as a whole, it's clear the developers have a pretty big vision for where they want the game to go. They're not just adding a few small updates, they're planning to expand the systems, improve the world, and keep building on the core idea of traveling across Mongolia as a courier. Of course, with any roadmap, things can always change during development. Some features might take longer than expected, and some ideas might evolve over time. But overall, the roadmap gives a really interesting look at what the future of The Legend of Khiimori might look like. If the developers manage to deliver most of these plans, the game could grow into a much bigger and deeper experience than what we see right now. There's also a section on the roadmap called "Not Going to Happen in the Near Future." And while that might sound a little bit disappointing at first, it's actually quite honest. These are ideas the developers have thought about, but they aren't planning to work on them right now. Some of these features need more time, more development, or simply aren't priority while the team focuses on finishing the core parts of the game first. So no multiplayer anytime soon, or any pet wolves. But the fact that they're listed on the roadmap shows that they're still part of the bigger vision for the game, even if they won't appear anytime soon. Another really interesting part of the roadmap is the community feedback section. This is where voices of players are start to shape the future of the game. Suggestions, ideas, and improvements that players have asked for are collected here and considered for the future updates. It shows that the world of Khiimori isn't just being built by the developers, but also influenced by people exploring it. And that's one of the most hopeful things about a game like this. It's still growing, still changing, and the community playing it today might help shape what the journey looks like in the future. Looking at the roadmap, we can roughly guess the order of what might arrive first and what might take a little bit longer. The first updates will probably focus on stability and improving the current game. That means bug fixing, performance improvements, and polishing the systems that are already in the game. Since the game just entered early access, this is usually the first priority. After that, we'll likely start seeing smaller gameplay additions. Things like improvements to horse care, more balancing to the survival systems, and quality of life changes that make traveling and deliveries feel smoother. Next up, we could see some new activities and mechanics, for example things like taming horses, racing events, and possibly new ways to interact with the world while traveling. These kinds of features make the journey feel more alive and give players more to do between deliveries. After that, the developers will probably begin expanding the content of the world itself. That could mean new areas to explore, more side quests, and additional horse breeds, and new items or equipment you can use during your travels. Then later in development, we'll likely see bigger systems and story content arrive. The developers have mentioned plans for a full story and deeper environmental storytelling, and more narrative elements that give meaning to the journey across Mongolia. And finally, closer to the full release, the focus will likely shift towards finishing touches. Things like voice acting, more localization for different languages, and overall polish to the game, so the game feels complete. So overall, the roadmap suggests a journey where the game slowly grows from a strong early access foundation into a much bigger and more detailed experience over time. So there's still a lot the developers want to add, from improving the current systems to adding new activities and expanding the world over time. And while some features might take longer than others, it's clear that the game is still very much growing. And with things like community feedback also influencing the roadmap, players might actually help shape what the future of the game looks like. But what do you think about the roadmap? Is there a feature you're most excited for or something you hope the developers might add later on? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.